No, you can't.
Oh, okay. I won't do that all the time, but nobody else is in our meeting, so you're right. It's a bad habit to get into. But
Just be.
let me give just a moment after record. Let's just like take 5 seconds after recording. Okay. So we're talking. Good morning. We're talking about notes that we could be making for the next meeting. Welcome to our second meeting. I'm John, and this is James.
Howdy. Our subject today is making new relationships in sobriety. As you all probably found, as you enter a life of sobriety and in this battle against addiction, you probably currently have a whole bunch of friends that are in the throes of this addiction. So this is going to be about how you work with those situations, as well as how you go and find new people that are sober and enthusiastic about life.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your friend, your social circle, fill your bucket in uplifting you. They hopefully you find friends who support you in your endeavors, what you want to do. So that's very important.
Now, um, so I think the first thing we should talk about is re-evaluating and setting our own new personal standards for our relationship. Um, Before we had no restrictions, no matter what situation was the other person was in, we were happy to join them in that addiction or in that substance use. Um, so for me primarily, I changed I, I changed what was important to me and say a woman that I would be dating, right? I know that no longer can I be with someone that is going to be a full blown alcoholic or somebody that goes out to bars and parties and gets drunk and that's their cup of tea. I need to find somebody, whether it be a romantic relationship or friends, acquaintances in general, that their goals are geared toward building real significance in their life. They have a dedication that is different than just the perpetual party and the perpetual sense to get high. So have you redefined your standards as far as or how have you redefined your standards?
How have I redefined my standards? I
That's a good girl right here.
I ongoingly redefine my standards. In near history, I've identified a relationship that I've been in where I had lowered my standards,
Mm-hmm.
and somewhat significantly, perhaps compared to other relationships,
Yeah.
and had to really reflect and process the amount of time and energy that I put into
Mm-hmm.
that relationship, which was very toxic and not regrettable, um, but probably not my higher power's will for that 5 years of my life.
And you're able to acknowledge that in some ways that wasn't beneficial toward your sobriety, something like that.
Absolutely, it's not. It was
Yeah.
founded on a strong lack of
That's right.
sobriety.
Yeah, that's where most of my relationships. Yeah, yeah.
It was founded on a lot of alcoholism
Mm-hmm.
and cannabisism.
Yep, yep. Um,
it can transform. I'm not saying that you couldn't be in a relationship that has a lot of substance use that can't potentially come out to be a good, worth fighting for
uh,
in scenario.
some people might be in a marriage that they've been married for 10 years and it's something that they potentially have to work out together. Not all relationships are something that we can just disband and move forward from. Our goal is to figure out how to work within any of those settings to maintain our sobriety and build our lives. Um, on on the note of relationships and the social setting, it's very important to maintain the idea that our social stuff, our relationship stuff, takes up a small part of our life, a healthy part of our life. It doesn't dominate it. It's very important that if you get into a relationship with somebody, that your life doesn't immediately begin to revolve around them entirely, and then you forget things like your higher power, your spirituality, your health, your diet, your fitness, your education, your work. You know, all of these things have to maintain their prominence within your life. We're gonna grow and prosper in this aspect of our life, just like in every other aspect of our life that makes up our general health and happiness. So now that you've sort of determined who is an option as far as a new relationship goes, it's difficult to find these people because nowadays most people in their 20s and 30s are actively participating in becoming an alcoholic, practicing an alcoholic. So how do we find people that is not their goal? I mean, it's definitely not going to a bar. It's going to a park, meeting people that have dogs and they're taking care of another animal, and they're showing that they have a healthy life. You can see that their focus is not
substance, very possibly alcohol.
mm-hmm.
Any place that, like, yes, anti-bar, am I, we can save it for later, but I asked myself this question: do I ever need to be in a place that serves or gives away alcohol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's been a difficult one for me because I love shooting pool, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't find a pool table that's not 50 feet from a bar with pitchers of alcohol.
Yes.
And with the community of people that are all practicing that.
Some people like getting out to hear live music
Yeah.
that may be around them. And
So what I've had to do in response to that challenge is, if I'm going to go shoot pool, I bring somebody with me that's also a sober person,
mm-hmm.
and we have our schedule to stay sober and shoot some pool,
I like that.
and then leave. And then it removes the idea of needing to meet somebody there or shoot some pool. And you know, of course, we're able to work through and navigate difficult situations. So you could potentially meet someone playing pool on the table next to you, but then you have to evaluate that person with your new standards. Maybe they're not a drinker. Maybe they're just there having a burger with their wife. You know, it's we can be open to everybody, but just make sure we maintain those standards as far as progressing further with the relationship.
Excellent. I really like that. That accountability element to actually getting out into maybe a dangerous scenario, especially if you're expecting relapse could happen, and you have that $5-10 in your pocket for your favorite drink. If you have that accountability, gosh, that changes everything, and is a great way to grow your confidence in continuing to put up a fight or a wall against the idea of purchasing. It allows you to enjoy and make new friends, enjoy the activity and the experience of being out in a colorful space,
right,
without indulging or feeding a food addiction, a substance addiction, any kind of problem that you may have.
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk to you about the clarification in by relationships? We're discussing both romantic relationships and non-romantic relationships.
Yeah, all general acquaintances.
Right, all general acquaintances. What I said before about relationships that started with substance use, I wanted to just also add on that can happen with both my non-romantic, my friendships, and my relationships, and it has on multiple occasions, especially with cannabis.
Yeah.
That was a substance that I have previously been kind of pro and for, and felt it was not a drug,
Mm-hmm.
felt it was not a substance, but I viewed it more as something I'm hesitant to mention, but I viewed it as like a cure, not a cure, but an aid, a medicine. And so when my friend or partner was suggesting it, it's like, hey, do you smoke weed? Do you want to go get high? I would say, yeah, I really like weed, and not ever think to myself like, this is a person that could be dangerous.
Yeah.
This is a person that might eventually steal my car. I don't know.
Or just a person that they're in the throes of their addiction, so they can't genuinely care about your battle with addiction, nor can they support it. Everyone's favorite thing to do when they're drinking is offer beer to whoever's around. Yeah, you need a beer?
Mm-hmm.
I got you. We're having a great time. Oh no, I don't drink.
That's so true. Is it the same way with other substances like cannabis, methamphetamine, whatever else?
They want you to do that substance.
Sharing it, yes, they do.
Yeah, and whenever I was doing it, I wanted everyone to be doing it too. It was like, oh, you're not eating mushrooms, you're missing out. You know what I mean? It's like it's difficult for anyone struggling to not be that person. And so being able to take a step away from that and know that you're actually encouraging other people to have good growth.
You want to think that it's their good intent to share something positive and okay in terms of health, to your physical health, your social health, your whole self. It's good for you. They're handing you this little baggie for you to decide 1 or 2 shrooms or whatever choice you're about to make, because you want to think they're trying to give you something that is okay, that is good. Repeatedly, friendships, relationships led to substance use. I remember being so high out of my mind one of the first times I smoked marijuana when I was over at my girlfriend's house and had stepped out to smoke a cigarette, and there were her neighbors had the door open and were smoking it, and one of them came out, started talking. They asked me if I wanted to smoke. I went in and I was so blazed out of my mind for about 4 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Tried to be out in public. So maybe I was consuming alcohol also during that 3 or 4 hour window. And I remember just being so blazed out of my mind, laughing, giggling in public for no apparent reason, probably. And other people were probably staring at me and wondering what the hell.
Yeah.
I've drank cough syrup with friends.
Yeah.
The friends supported or seemed to suggest to me.
Yeah. So, kind of on the note of friends that you already have, you can't just give up everybody. You can't throw everybody to the curb. So a good way to handle situations like that are and schedule small doses. You come over, you have a quick chat, you maintain that friendship, but you don't stay long enough for the addiction to see those things that you're addicted to, and to start telling yourself, hey, I miss having beers. You essentially leave before that becomes a part of the problem, and it'll be different levels for different people, depending on the substance and each person. But yeah, you don't have to throw everybody away. You can figure out a way to manage small doses of people that are bad for you. In most cases, there are some people that you're definitely going to have to remove entirely, because you know that they're inherently bad for your health. You know without a fact that they're going to bring more chaos to your life than good growth. But so I need, in the future, I have a camping trip planned, right? This is a situation that's come up for me, and I'm worried about it. I'm going to be at a camping trip surrounded by people that are drinking. It's going to be a couple of day event. So I think the best way for me to make it through that is to invite you or another one of my sober buddies.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
To go with me. And
so you're inviting me now live on our stream? That's cool.
Yeah. So if you say no, they're going to know you're a dick.
Well, I'll check my calendar in a second.
I'll change the date to wherever your calendar's open.
Oh, buddy, I'd like to go camping. I'd like to make friends.
Yeah.
And I'd like to meet some of your people, even though they may be partaking in alcoholic substances. That doesn't mean I can't necessarily make them my acquaintances and consider an evolution of a relationship.
Hmm.
So what a cool thing to do during a live meeting on making new relationships. Yeah, we'll go camping. I'll keep you sober.
Yeah, well, so
God.
at the camping trip, instead of sitting there watching everybody drink by myself, I'll have you to confide in and converse with and laugh about and appreciate our sobriety and actually find adventures that are around the campsite that are something that are.
How many days is it going to be?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I have a tent. So
it's tentative.
tentative. I'll bring my phone fully charged and maybe my backup battery and stream.
I got a solar thing.
I guess solar
battery
power.
backup, yeah.
So we've got solutions for possibly doing a live stream, a sober live stream
At
out.
the campsite, right?
You may see alcohol, and we apologize if you hear anything.
No, we'll
or
go
see
somewhere
anything,
else.
but-
We're not going to show you anybody having a fantastic time
There's
watching
wolves.
substance.
There's wolves out there now.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, well, may live stream, may not, but yeah, I'll go camping. That'll be fun as fuck.
Yeah, it'll help keep me sober through a process that could be otherwise difficult.
I haven't been camping in a while. Yeah. Sure.
Right. So, like some other places to meet people, you know, hiking trails, people that are out in active fitness. It's a little difficult to meet people at the gym because there's a stigma against that. But if you're just trying to find genuine friends, typically you can get through that stigma and just make a genuine conversation with people. Whenever I go to the dog parks, you know, typically it's other it's women that are there, and I make sure to restrain myself and not be overbearing trying to become their friend or anything like that. I might wait until the second or third time because finding people that are out hiking, people that are mountain biking, joining clubs is a fantastic way to find some new relationships. If you're into kayaking, join a kayaking club. Whatever your hobby is, you can find people that are out there doing it in groups, and they can become your great friends. On top of the AA meetings or other 12-step meetings, those are a wonderful place to meet people that are trying to make good in their life.
I've met some really great people at meetings and hope that continues both online and offline. Some of my closest contacts in my phone have been people that I met at substance treatment or meet AA meetings.
And we met in a rehabilitation program.
We did.
You know, so you can find those diamonds out there, those good people that are in a similar mission, and it's almost comical how easy it is to spot these people because they have a typical enthusiasm and happiness towards life that a lot of people that are struggling with their addiction don't have. Whenever I'm drinking from wake to sleep, I'm not a happy person. I'm not going out meeting people. I'm not doing anything. I'm not exercising. You know, so you can find these people out there, and they'll stand out, and you'll see them in AA meetings or any of those kinds of meetings. They'll be talking like, yeah, wow, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, my life is going good. Spot those people, get close to those people, maintain your standards.
Potentially enrich your life. It is cool to point out that we did meet at substance treatment, which makes it easier for us to identify a few things we have in common. That commonality benefits a relationship, friendship, and certainly romantic. Some commonality, not tons of commonality in a romantic relationship, in my personal opinion. But um, places you can also meet a friend is at a grocery store, at the library, at the movie theater. If maybe you just came out of the same movie and you're both crying, and so you're just
That'd
like,
be awesome.
oh.
I found that I typically have an easier time approaching people whenever I am completely sober. Whenever you're using substance, there's always that period of time where you're coming down. And the movie's a perfect example because like an hour and a half later, you might be wishing you had more beer. You're feeling a little grouched, but right now, I'd come out of that movie and I'd be enthusiastic still. I'd still be the same happy person that I went into that movie theater with. And yeah, if I saw somebody just busting out laughing, keeling over, or something like that, or like quoting parts, doing that, it would be much easier for me to approach that person than if I were intoxicated or withdrawing from substance.
Absolutely, agreed.
School's a normal place to meet people, and you have a.
Oh, thank you for that follow or like. We appreciate that.
All right. Yeah, school. You know that everybody in school, they're trying to do something. They're in an endeavor that is going to improve their life. They're working on their.
More hurt enough, experienced enough of that person to know when the right time to exit.
Yeah. In general, you're doing your evaluation. And you're saying, you're rating them on a scale of positive impact on your life or negative impact on your life. And if they're in the negative side perpetually, then you know that you have to do something about that relationship, whether it be bringing them down to the smallest dose where you're just sending text every now and again or a phone call now and again and not hanging out in person because you know the risk is too high, and that their influence is dangerous for your goal. People that are perpetually having normal life issues,
bad luck.
People that are always far in debt, they can't afford anything. People that are perpetually spouting drama and situations and anger and all that. I'm not saying that don't make a friend with somebody because they're poor, but sometimes people have a life built that will create nothing but stress and drama, and money is just a part of our life. So it's worth considering. It is a small thing in my facet because I definitely don't avoid people that have low income or anything like that. Wouldn't be that way. Ongoing and continual problems with the law is another good example. You know from the outset that they're doing things in their life that are negative, and will eventually have a negative impact on you, whether it's just conversing.
And whether that's your problem substance or a different problem substance as the primary cause of the behavior that they're getting arrested for, or getting pulled over repeatedly for, or it could be not related to a substance. They can all be plenty indicator that person has, or just additional indication that person has a real problem that could impact you and continue to trouble you.
Yeah.
Especially if it already does trouble you in any way.
I think a lot of people also that are trying to do good have this tendency to try to help and save other people, and we're all going to do that to some degree still in our recovery. Just make sure that stays the approach. No, I wouldn't do that. I on my old cable, yeah, that's what I would do.
We could change up our setup, but it's a really good conversation on relationships. So,
any other input on when to know when to end a
when
relationship?
to know? I mean, when you wind up in jail and your friend or your lover is greatly involved and you're in jail, that's a good indication that hey, maybe I've got a life choice to consider.
Evaluate this.
My girlfriend slapped me first. I went to jail. Whatever the scenario may be, but if you wind up in one of those situations, that's a really strong indication that termination of your relationship or your friendship, whatever. It's certainly if you're considering, some people will have I've heard of people personifying a substance and yelling at the pills and saying, no, you will not control me. And that helped them in such a great degree. So if you're considering your bottle of gin, whatever it is, your best friend and a person, you can also, to tie this with addiction, obviously a relationship that is centered around or involved with substance is not going to probably encourage
substance, physical fighting, verbal fighting. All of these things typically continue to grow and grow and grow until they reach that peak and something bad happens. So consider all of those things whenever you're making new
we are streaming and zooming at the same time. I don't know what it could be.
So other things to consider in your evaluation is, do they have a continual and repeated substance abuse problem, and is it just continuing to struggle, continuing relapses? How many relapses are going to be a good enough indicator that you know that you shouldn't be around this person, that this person is negative toward your sobriety? Because primarily we need to take care of ourselves. Maintaining our circle and all the things that make us is priority number one above everything. As you're doing that, you'll be better able to maintain your sobriety, make better decisions along the way, have a clear mind. And having a clear mind, a clear, healthy body will
in a long time. Yes, that's how it all works. Your work gets better, your social life, your entire life generally goes upward.
That upward spiral. How did you put it? Spiral upwards.
Spiral upwards, yeah, because I think about it like it's a slow wind up. Like recovery isn't real quick, so don't have the expectation that 3 days you're going to be back to normal.
Remember the steps.
Yeah, baby steps to 4 o'clock is a quote for one of my favorite movies. What about Bob?
What was the quote?
Baby steps to 4 o'clock.
Till 4 o'clock?
Yeah. He's just trying to make it to the end of the day. Just try to get there.
That's pretty good.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, I on the note of baby steps, I've always appreciated the progression in life, which is you take baby steps and then you walk and then you run. So remember to not be too hard on yourself if you can't just jump into the running stage of any of these developments. Take those baby steps. Get a hang of that. Start to walk. Be used to your progress and your path in life. And then one day you'll find yourself going full speed ahead, taking care of all your business, opening up all your mail, paying all your bills, remembering to call your ma.
Your life will feel better. You will feel happier about the choices you make on a day-to-day basis, and the level of the state of mind you're in while you perform activities like giving your mom a call, giving your cousin a call, any activity you do social just feels better because one, you're not slurring your words.
Yeah.
You're not messed up in the head thinking about crazy stuff.
Yeah, your memory's better.
You have less of an emotional reaction to bad news or foul treatment. If somebody should mistreat you, you have a stronger emotional response. I have a stronger emotional response.
Or control over your response. Yeah.
It's upward instead of downward. That the lack of substance adds to my social life. My mom has that's a big downward when I'm on substances. My mother cares for me very greatly, and I mistreated her at times.
Same. Everyone
on substances.
Yeah. Because our priority is the substance and not ourself and everything that comes with that, right?
I'm fortunate she's very forgiving and even forgetful of my mistakes, and that has allowed our relationship to recover fairly quickly. But that's not the case for everybody. I want to point out that it might not be slow to ease your way into healthier relationships, whether it's family that you feel you must hold on to, a dear friend that you feel you must hold on to. It doesn't have to be quick. It's not a race anywhere. You're not sprinting into a solution or a change. So you don't have to text that friend text that love addiction and tell them anything. I want to point out you can consider that for periods of time and make those make these changes fairly slowly. Maybe you have a friendship with someone who hasn't previously given you that indication that we talked about. And so it's kind of a first time offense. It has might come to a problem for you personally, like I can't hang out. Then something would be when to terminate a relationship.
No, more specifically on
Yeah,
the note,
when to act. Maybe when to act.
On that note, so if you have something that you need to say to somebody, or you're not sure how to say it, sometimes the best approach is to not say anything, to wait a few days, let it process, and eventually you'll send that text that you won't regret, as opposed to that one that you'll send right in the heat of the moment, or whatever it may be. Take everything slowly, calmly. Use your mind, and everything will work out better in general. That's one thing I don't miss about drinking, is I'd text people whatever the hell I wanted to. You know what I mean? And then the next day I'd wake up and be like, God, I ruined that relationship right off the bat.
Some of my worst cases of verbal abuse have been over text message. I'm not gonna lie. And when my ex would really ruin my weed experience and just fuck up my high, and I could get so pissed at that. I'm like, I just smoked the baddest joint, and now you're ruining my hour or two. It's just selfish of me to want that substance to be utilized in a way that doesn't serve whatever point she's trying to make. And it's kind of selfish to say, I must be high for this hour. I can't deal with drama this hour.
Save it for later.
Yeah. Seriously.
I used to get frustrated with my ex-wife on things like Father's Day and my birthday, and she'd be like, what do you want? You got to do something. You got to do this. I was like, you know what I want? I want to sit here in front of a Nintendo and play games all day, and occasionally come out, hug my kids, and be a dad.
That's what you wanted.
But I don't want to have to go to dinner, go to lunch, go on a hike.
So you tell her that's what you wanted.
Yeah, she gets so pissed about that. How do you? You're just gonna do this for your birthday?
Yes, like disappointment, take it too far. Yeah. She's getting mad at you to start a fight.
Yep. And it's like, you're ruining my birthday. This is the opposite of what I want.
How do you want to get situated here? Are you questioning her? Hey, baby.
This is Kaya, by the way.
Kaya.
She'll be with us in all these endeavors. She's been very important to my sanity and in part to my growth as a human, as a sober person. And I encourage anyone with the capacity to do that, even if you don't feel like you're quite capable of taking care of another item, another entity. You might give it a shot. If a dog is too big of a prospect, find a plant. What you're doing with all of these things is you're practicing your love and affection for something other than yourself each day, and that should be a part of our growth as well. You got any plants?
My pets are beautiful creatures to me. They give me great companionship in place of a family that I hope to have one day.
Yeah.
I have my own small family, my feline family, I call them. It's a pet, especially. So I'll add this note if you don't mind me sharing. Kai's a service dog, and certified to be a companion. So, and that's valuable as a veteran. We're both veterans. We served, and animals can provide great support for people who have different mental illnesses and also different health conditions. But they're just great to have around if you have a good-natured animal that you can show love to, care for. These things feel great. Chemically in your brain, oxytocin is released while you're giving a dog a little rub, because you're giving her. Sometimes I see a dog scratching its leg, biting at its leg, or scratching into you like Kai's doing right now. I'll help her a little bit, and that feels so good to give her a help. Let her help her get her itch, because it's an itch like your itch. When you want to scratch, you want to scratch it. They have their little minds,
not to go on and on about animals and animal minds, but
They're part of the relationships in our life.
yes, I value their consciousness. Work and let them run around and meet people.
Yeah, I hear that my dog is beautiful 20 times a day, and so I just go, they're saying I'm beautiful. Oh no.
There you go, I got you. You good?
Got it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, smoking cigarettes. You in the foreseeable future, do you have any plans to go make new relationships? Should we do that? Have an effort to do that today or tomorrow or this week?
To do that today, possible. I'm often unaware of what all I'm supposed to be doing during a given day, unless I know that I have a meeting to get to, or some type of event with someone, like a lunch. I'll know some of those details, but then there's a lot of other stuff that often I should be working on that I'm trying to put energy into. Video editing, putting in things into the mail, but to get out to the dog park is an idea.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And today might be a good day for that. I'm also excited for the next farmer's market to come up.
Yeah.
Because all those people there, you go to a farmer's market, you're going to find people that they've been practicing all day nurturing plants, nurturing relationships. They're all enthusiastic about what they're doing. They had the energy to get up way earlier than we did that day and
Get their crops out there.
Yeah, get them all shiny and or you know whatever. Bringing their kids and
Flowers, beautiful things to see at the farmers market too.
Yeah.
Just to see the different products and their color and quality.
Lots of good energy grown there. Pun intended. Well, that's about all I have on this topic prepared.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and close it out?
Yeah. Thanks for coming to this meeting with me today.
Yeah, man,
if you're watching, I appreciate that. If you're watching on YouTube, we have more videos to come. We have more meetings to come. You can find us on Facebook at the image posted there. Help with Addiction Coaching. Please like us, and you will eventually see more advertisements for meetings. And we'll try to get more folk in for our YouTube channels. Some of our content will be just James and I discussing topics like we did today, and some of our content will be group meetings with people who are checking in with the group on their substance use. So it'll vary out. We want to thank you for tuning in, and we hope you benefited from this conversation.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and we're excited to grow, and we're excited to have you grow with us. So come back. Join us anytime that you feel down. You have our contact information. If you're ever in need of anything at this current point in this endeavor, we'll be able to answer all your emails, potentially talk to you on the phone. So if you need some help, contact us.
Let me interrupt and say our email address is helpwithaddictioncoaching@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's ADDICTIONCOACHING. Thank you for emailing us because we look forward to helping you. We really appreciate you taking the time to type out a quick email, and it doesn't have to be your whole story. We'll start from where you are.
All right, everybody. So work on building that real significance in your life, and we'll see you next time. Stay sober.
See you guys.